Greetings all. This is Hairy Nick.
This is Justin.
Welcome to 2019. Congratulations, you made it. You made it. I made it. Yes, it's very good. It's very good. We're past the holiday season here. We're back to our regular scheduled recording. And I just wanted to, as we start this new year, just have a chat about everything that happened last year, what we're looking forward to this year in the world of Star Wars gaming from FFG. Justin, what was your favourite thing that happened last year in the world of X-Wing?
I mean, 2.0 was pretty big.
I think that's pretty fair for most people.
Getting back to playing my first order ships, that's so much fun.
Yeah, just in the last month. Even just for the channel, the announcement and release of 2.0 was a huge boon for us. Going into 2018, we had just ticked over 1,000 subs. Going 2019, we had just ticked over 5,000 subs. So we must be doing something right.
Yeah.
And I think a large part of that is, yes, we're sort of, nailing down the kind of things we're doing on the channel, but also FFG announcing 2.0 and just a mountain of information, which I almost collapsed after just covering. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. But that was a real big boon from the channel, and we just want to continue doing more of that. 2.0 is awesome. Also, the release of Star Wars Legion.
Yeah.
It sort of pales in comparison to 2.0 in hindsight. Look, I love Legion, but I think it's pretty fair to say that it has not had the start that we're really hoping for, at least not in a lot of parts in the world. It's really struggling here in Melbourne to sort of get off the ground. We're not seeing a lot of tournament play here, unfortunately, which kind of sucks.
It is unfortunate, yeah.
It does suck. I know a lot of people are saying, we're still it's still teething and that kind of stuff. Look, I was not around for the start of X-Wing, but I'm willing to bet it did not have this slower start. Yeah. And yes, ultimately, it's something that takes a bit more of an investment, a bit more time from us.
Well, you got to paint them as well.
That kind of thing, which, look, a lot of wargamers are really into. I've noticed this trend where if people go from 40k to Legion, they paint them like that. Us X-Wing players, I've primed most of mine. Kind of thing. Look, Legion is awesome. I'm hoping for much bigger things from Legion in the future. We kind of stopped talking too much about Legion on the channel. To be honest, the reaction was usually some people that follow basically everything I do would interact on those videos, but the views are way down. When I go from an X-Wing video to a Legion video, and unfortunately, it actually slowed down the subscriber count on the channel. So I'm actively posting videos that hurt my traction.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel great. I do want to post more different kinds of videos, but I want to find different ways to do that. More on that to come. But let's look forward into 2019. I think there's a lot of really cool things that can happen. We're sort of well past the hype of announcing Legion and releasing Legion, so there's definitely room for the hype of a new game if FFG want to approach that kind of thing. But before we talk about anything else, let's talk about X-Wing.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on X-Wing moving forward?
I'm wanting to start seeing Epic.
Yes, I think we can all agree with that.
Yeah. I'm not sure how they're going to go about it. Maybe just have one small box, like the First Order or Resistance, with a couple of big base stuff.
Like one conversion pack that does everything from First Edition. Probably one of each. I know you can do like a Gazanti Raider or Corvette and Transport or Transport. I think realistically one of each. I mean, unless you, in the comment section, did you buy multiple Gazantis or Transports? Would you be salty if they only gave you one conversion for each of those in the pack?
I had one of each.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a Scum player. I've only got my, what do you call it? I don't know. I've never actually had the chance to play with it.
CR90?
That's the one! Yeah. The CR90. A big container ship.
It almost looked like a Gazanti.
It's packed away. I'm moving house soon. But actually, it is a version of the Gazanti. Yeah. It was like an earlier model, and the Gazanti was more streamlined and built for the Empire. The more you know. But my point is, like, more opportunities to play Epic as well.
There is another way they could do it. Just have like a pack of cards and the piece of cardboard and sell it like that, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. There's options.
And do one for each ship.
Yeah. Possibly.
I'd still prefer it.
It's difficult to distribute that, and it's a difficult thing to ask retailers to sell that. I mean, I know a lot of people don't agree with this, but I think the way that we rolled out the conversion kits into second edition was fantastic.
Yeah.
And just more of the same FFG. Just make the transition into Epic in second edition nice and easy. And yeah, people really want this. Just ducking aside from X-Wing for one moment, we do have to mention Armada. Now, we're not Armada players, but I constantly find this so interesting because we have all these different Star Wars games from FFG. Now, apart from the obvious ones like X-Wing and Legion, which has the decent followings, Armada is a much smaller game than those, despite the fact there's always this very vocal crowd for it. And
well, they just had the Super Star Destroyer come out.
Yes, with Palp on that, which hopefully not making that same mistake again.
Yeah.
But I remember back when they announced the Clone Wars for X-Wing and for Legion, the first thing people were asking is, Armada? Game's perfect. I think they seriously need to give a bit more love to this game.
Yeah.
And I understand FFG only have a certain amount of resources. They're always going to go to X-Wing first because it's the well that keeps on giving. And, you know, at the end of the day, they're a company, they're making money.
Yeah.
But you've got loyal fans who just want to follow this stuff and keep supporting it and keep going to competitive tournaments and that kind of stuff. I'd love to see some more stuff for games like Armada and even like Imperial Assault and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Going back to X-Wing, what else do you think we want to see in the game of X-Wing? For standard play, like what kind of products help support that the best?
I think these packs that they're coming out with for Wave 3 with the CIS and Republic.
They've called them squadron packs.
Squadron packs. Yeah.
Yes. I love these.
Yeah.
I love the idea of these. They're basically doing a lot of the work that the conversion kits do in that they're getting a lot of the copies of the generic cards into the hands of the players. If you want to start playing the game with the CIS or Republic, you don't have to go to the old models, the conversion kits. You probably still do need a core set.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, you buy one of these, there's all your generic cards, there's 3 ships, go. You've got it. It's probably not enough to make a squad, maybe 1 or 2 other ships to fill it out.
Yeah.
But as far as an on-ramp to the game, there is nothing else like this.
No, and if they start doing this for other factions...
Absolutely. Absolutely. I made the comment when these were revealed, if they could do this at the same time phasing out conversion kits, maybe in a year's time, that might be a way of doing it. Maybe 2 years down the track. I don't know how long people are going to need conversion kits for their old models.
Maybe end of this year?
Maybe. I mean, there's always the person that sort of got out of the game and wants to enter back into it. And, I mean, if you got back into the game right after the conversion kits stopped selling and FFG just, like, hard cut them out, that'd be pretty salty feels.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty salty feels. Maybe just do low print runs of the conversion kits and do high print runs of these, maybe.
Yep.
That could make a lot of sense. I think like just a little presence of the conversion kits for years to come is important, but introducing these as the replacement for those.
Well, not only that, like you can do the new paint models for different ships as well.
This is a big thing.
They did say that they weren't going to do that anymore.
Well, they said that they weren't necessarily going to do any of the ones that already exist.
Yeah. They're now bringing out the Z95 again with a new paint job, and I'm like,
yeah. Well, that's not one that already existed, so that kind of is not them going back on their word.
Well, yeah, but like they now can do a new...
Yeah, for sure. They could do more things. They could do more different paint jobs of existing ships and leave those 1.0 ones to be these rare commodities. Kind of strange, but we don't really offer anything else to the game. They just look cool. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great, easy way of doing that. We could finally get green A-Wings. Which never actually happened, considering how significant they were in first edition. That's a great way to also offer different options on ships. We're not in the realms of needing to fix ships anymore because we have point adjustment, but we can always add more pilots, potentially different upgrades and configurations. So that's sort of going into fixed territory. But Poe Dameron's mother, Shara Bay, that's her name. In the comics and in canon, she was the leader of the A-Wings on the second attack on the Death Star. Yet she's not in an A-Wing.
Wow.
She flew into the Death Star. She flew out again to get the TIE fighters to peel off. That was one of her. Oh. Yeah. See, there you go.
Yeah.
By the way, read Shattered Empire. It's a really, really good comic.
Okay.
I mean, there are obvious things that we can do more of. And just offering some of these ships and more pilots, more upgrade cards. It's good. It's really good for the game to have this kind of on-ramp to the game.
Yeah.
It's a difficult thing to just go, hey, little Timmy wants to walk into an LGS and start playing X-Wing. Well, you got to get a core set. Oh, and maybe this ship and that ship. And, you got some old ships. Oh, a conversion. Oh, but you need another one of these old ships. It's a little bit messy at the moment.
Yeah.
And, not all games are easy to buy into, but that's no excuse. There should be an easy way to buy into the game.
You're thinking maybe something else as well?
Yes. I was thinking about Star Wars titles. We're now past the release of Legion. There is room for FFG to garner up hype for a new game. I think the biggest challenge for that is, what is the market willing to take? I think perhaps some of the reason that Legion may be suffering in some areas of the world is they've just stretched their market a bit too much. The market that's already bought into X-Wing and potentially Rebellion, Imperial Assault, Armada, other things we've been talking about. And we just don't want another game that we have to invest a heap into. So I think if they are going to approach something new, something akin to like Rebellion, the board game, where you just buy that and maybe another couple of expansions.
I was thinking maybe sort of Destiny insofar as like it's not hugely brought out every year.
Destiny still is a TCG, which does require some level of investment and chasing after singles, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but like with Destiny, it's not, you're not getting a new set every...
No, they're rolling it out much slower than Magic, which I think is actually a really good thing.
Yeah.
I would hate to see Destiny sort of have the sort of release schedule that Magic does.
That'd be terrifying.
Yeah, we don't need another one of those.
Yeah.
What I'd like to see is something that can sort of play off the success of what we already have. And during last year, we had this image of a pod racer card for Destiny come out. When I first saw this, it was a new card, different frame style. It didn't click with me first time I saw it that it was a Destiny card. And then I went, ooh, a pod racing... Oh, it's a Destiny card. I thought maybe FFG were announcing a pod racing game. And holy moly, that would be so cool. And this sort of idea sort of fermented in my head, and it sort of came to fruition when we had the reveal of Resistance, the TV show, and we were talking about that. I made a couple of videos talking about, oh, look, there's these new ships. New ships are likely going to come to X-Wing. Yeah. And I got this response from a lot of you guys, and I really agree with this. The fact that there's all these really cool hot-rodded ships in Resistance, they're not all just going to be dumped into X-Wing. And I think the folly of just dropping all of these ships into the game is too much crazy variance, too much random toys the Scum faction
not only that
sort of gets.
Not only that, you've only got the named pilots. You can't give generic...
Yeah, that's right. You can't give like hype phase on ship to a bunch of different... It wouldn't make a lot of sense, would it? I mean, I think I would love to see the Fireball in X-Wing.
Yes.
Just for a bit of fun. We could have that entire crew on there, like a rebel-style kind of ship kind of thing with all the named pilots. That'd be awesome. But in terms of all these other ships, well, I think maybe there's another game. Maybe we could have a thing where we have a racing game which may borrow a lot of the whole mechanics from X-Wing, even use the same scale of ships, the same style of minis, with the same peg attachment on them. Ooh. But we use them in a different game. Maybe it's like a grid-based board game, something a bit more streamlined and simplified, so it's a bit easier to buy into. Maybe we get a release in X-Wing for the Fireball. Oh, but it has components for this other game that you might want to play.
Yeah, maybe something that says, oh, you can also play some of your ships that you've already got for X-Wing.
That's right. Maybe chuck a TIE Fighter, a T-70 or something like that.
Yeah.
And you have a different way of modifying. It wouldn't be like you have the upgrade slots. It would be a bit more crazy and fantastical, where you go to like the junk trader with like face down cards and you flip over like these ridiculous things, which might make you explode, but might make you go forward so many spaces like that.
It gives you the afterburners and also a tiny little bit of hyperfuel.
You get some unrefined coaxium in there, and you get out of the... I really like this idea. I think this is fun. Hey, if anyone from FFG is watching it, have it. It's yours. I'm a very noble person. I'm not
we're willing to give.
That's right. Only just 2%. That's all. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But I like this idea of piggybacking off the success of one game and going, hey, this is something else that you can try out, which is maybe a bit more accessible, a bit more kid-friendly, like the show is, of course.
Yeah.
I know it's a thing that people don't like about the show, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, you know, Star Wars is for everyone. We've got to remember that.
Not only that, like, think about Rebels when it first started, or
the
Clone Wars.
Oh, absolutely.
They were very kid-friendly to begin with, and then got slightly darker.
And this is something that the whole Disneyfication of Star Wars is. I mean, I know, Monopoly bad, blah, 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 blah. And a lot of people don't like the things that Disney are doing with Star Wars. But one of the things they are doing, and I think this is a positive thing overall, is expanding the different mediums it interacts with, expanding the different markets. You know, it can be for kids, for adults, and whatever. And basically gives kids an on-ramp into Star Wars. Yeah. And maybe something like that for X-Wing, or just something that sort of plays around with the ideas that FFG have been playing with. They already have a Star Wars beginner game, which I think is like a role-playing sort of thing. I don't know. But, you know, little Timmy sees his father playing with X-Wing models. He wants to play too. Why don't we give them something that Daddy and Timmy can enjoy together? People want this kind of stuff. And I think FFG as a company maybe don't quite get that as much as Disney do. And that could be a fun thing for them to play around with. Just a bit of a thought I had. And I think if FFG are going to announce something new for Star Wars with their gaming line, I think that's an interesting idea.
Very much so.
I got myself hyped up for an idea that probably isn't going to happen, but that does not matter. I really enjoy the stuff. I enjoy what FFG do with Star Wars overall. I'm not saying that they're terrible unless they do these things. It's just always looking forward and looking upwards. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a fantastic 2019. In the comment section below, if you have any really crazy ideas for X-Wing or any other games or any new games, let us know. We'll catch you later. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Reddit. Please consider supporting the Patreon. The links for all that stuff are down below. Thanks to all our patrons. You guys rock. We'll catch you guys in the next video.